This is Don Prue with Martial Arts Group. Haven't really got to you with a podcast in a while. I thought I'd do a quick one here because we really need to get our businesses going. I'm suffering just like you guys, so we got to figure out the best way we can, and we want to keep as many of our students as we can. So now's a very important time to try to keep them around and then move them into your school. So we got a couple of steps that we've been taking with my schools, and they've been doing pretty good with it. So I wanted to share those with you. It's worth listening for the 5 minutes that I'm going to take to do this, or 3 minutes. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm going to try to help you out. So what we have some schools that are still in lockdown. They can't open. They're just communicating with their students at home. So we've had a program for that, and hopefully you have a good one too, to make sure you stay in contact all the time. So we're always making contact one way or another with every student that we can. So and then we have other schools that have been able to open with the social distancing spacing. So we've had to change our schedules, make the distance, have the thermometers, all those things, some of the guidelines I showed you. Hopefully you created your own good set of guidelines for the coronavirus thingy. So you got that. So I got schools that people can come in. We're doing that process, but we still have, a small percentage coming in the door of how many students that we actually have. So we're trying to figure out different ways that we can bring them and move more people into our school. For one, it works out in some respects is that we had to limit class size anyways, so nobody's getting mad because there wasn't room or anything like that. Although that'd be a nice dilemma to have. I have so many students on my floor. It's bulging. Do I get a bigger school or stay at this size? What do I do? Great dilemma. But anyways, back on track here. So what we've been doing is we always are working to stay in constant contact with everyone and every time. So now lately, and we moved into a stage that we call, it's more about training analysis. We're going to analyze our students' training and where they're at, and we call it rank review. Now, some people have rank reviews where you have to go through the rank review before you even get the test. That's not what I'm talking about, because we don't have that. I'm not saying that's a good idea or a bad idea. It's however you want to do it, but we don't have that. So our rank review is we're contacting every single student, and we're going to have a conference with them, one way or the other, okay? So say that you only have, no one's coming in your school, you can only have training at home. And and we advocate, even if you can have students come into your school, we also continue, this is very important, to continue our at-home training and communication, because a lot of people aren't comfortable with this. At least probably half your students aren't comfortable with it. And if it's not that many, then lucky you, but aren't comfortable with coming in yet. So you don't want them to fade out, because the longer that they don't train or the longer that they stay away, the less likely they are to finish their goal of becoming a martial artist. And our goal to get them to be a martial artist. So you have to stay in contact. So we say do both until you get X amount of students back in your door. So anyways, so we have a video conference with every single person that's still at home for whatever reason, and we talk to them and see what they're doing, see if they've been training. So if they have been training, well, they probably have a little area that they can show you. They can do some exercises for us, basic katas and so on forms, or whatever you want to call them. Movements, wipeouts, let's see your basic actions, that kind of thing. You can show me on this video conference. So we check them out. We could say, oh, wow, you have been practicing pretty much. We can analyze them. And if they haven't been training, we can say, okay, well, we need to get you going. So, what we have is, testing for your green belt next. I put up a couple of moves once you're a green belt. And so what we do is we say, well, normally we don't show you these moves, but since you're at home, we wanted to show you some of the good stuff that we have coming up. And I put a little preview of all the cool things they're going to get to learn when they're a green belt. Not that they go out and do it or anything, but it keeps them excited. And then my goal is to get them to watch the get ready for green belt video that I'm putting out. And then, then she starts working on that, and I get her to training, and then we're going to say, well, we're going to get a hold of you next month and see how you're doing. But come on, let's go, Susie, let's go. All right? So now, if you have someone that's been working at home and you can bring them into the school, well, then you try to say, oh, look at you. You've been doing really good, Susie. I'd like to get you back into the class on Saturday. Why don't we do this, not on class, but into a conference? I'll have scheduled conferences on Saturday. I got a free time at noon. Come on in. Let me analyze you. I'll get you ready. See what you're doing, a private little session, and we'll get you ready to get back into class. So we've been doing that. So we've been working on that. So a lot of people that are apprehensive, been doing anything, I'm out of shape, well, we get them in and get them to cross that line. Show them that we have the procedure. Show them how we're taking everybody's temperature and we're cleaning the place 52 million times. All those kind of steps that we're taking, we want to show them. We get mom to bring her in. It's just going to be just nobody within six feet of you or whatever you're comfortable with doing at your place. I'm going to be around, so you make them. They come in. You work with her. Mom gets to see Susie in a pretty clean environment. We took their temperatures. Mom had to wear a mask. That kind of thing. Boom. Now Susie stays in class. She's coming every time. She's okay. Now that Susie's there, well, her three friends, Betsy, Sally, and Timmy, all want to come too. What the heck. Susie's mom talks to a couple of the other moms because they know each other, and boom, it starts to do a domino effect of getting new students into your school. So that's a good way to move them over. And another thing that's very, very important is the importance of getting your students to feel accomplishment. And what's the biggest way for them to feel accomplished? Is the student getting the next rank. So it's important to give the students a feeling of accomplishment, especially the younger belts. Beginners need more reinforcement, more positive feelings, and that's through accomplishment, and that's getting to the next rank. So we try to get them to the next rank at all cost. And I don't mean cost on quality, but I mean all cost. And if I have to call them every single week, I'll call them every single week. Whatever it takes. Some people you don't have to call at all. They just show up and they do the job and they're moving on. But if you're not, whatever it takes, I got to call you, I got to conference you, I got to come pick you up. Whatever it takes to get you there. So, my goal is your goal, and it's to get you there. So it's that important. In these times, if you do have people staying at home, we still want to promote them. I know it's like, ugh, but what we've done, and you can consider it's your own school, but it's been working out great for us, is we took out a few of the requirements at the first couple of bouts that you need to be at school to do, okay? And what we've done is we've taken them out, and sometimes we didn't. It depends on each school. The instructors have the freedom, to teach what they're teaching. You know what I mean? So it's different. But anyways, analyze it for how you do it. But we took out a couple things, and some didn't, and they get to be promoted even at home through the video conferencing, or some of my instructors want to watch it on YouTube. They say, okay, this is the requirements, but hey, I like to be on a video conference and just go, hey, okay, let's see this, like I'm there, She's looking at me and I'm looking at her, so that works out great. But anyways, you move them along, but don't give up quality of your program by any means, and I'm not going to. None of my schools are going to do that. What you do is you just add that in. By the time they get to the middle belt, into like our green belt, you ain't getting that green belt unless you know every single freaking thing that you need to know. The green belt, my green belts are going to kick ass. So, I don't say that. So if you do take something out, you can add it in the next time, or as soon as they get to school, you show them anyways. They didn't need it, but now that these two are here, they're going to get fighting. Sparring night, you start sparring. You know what I mean? They may not need it for that next belt, but since they're at your school, they're doing it because they will need it for the next belt after that, or rank. And sometimes they're stripes, or like white belt with a stripe, or give them. We like to move. Moved from the stripe thing to give them a yellow belt. We didn't have a yellow belt, but now we give them a belt because that gives them a better feeling of accomplishment. So getting them to the goal of black belt is what my purpose is. So I don't care what color belt's down there, and yellow's not too out of the way. So instead of giving them a little piece of tape around their belt like I got when I started, they get a yellow belt. So, but anyway, so get them to yellow belt, and then the next belt after that for us is purple. So, to the to the third belt, and really they're like a lot of schools. They're still barely a white belt with two stripes on it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's crazy. But anyways, so you need to get them in. So now you can see how you can easily move them, but if they're staying at home, you can still work with them and keep them around. And then eventually when they're comfortable, they will get back to your school. So you maybe the next month you say, oh man, things are better, everything's going good. The all the stuff about COVID's knocking down a little bit, more openings. You get her in the next month. Get them back in. As soon as they are in, they're back on your regular program. No harm, no foul. Everything's doing good. And guess what? My students are on their way to black belt, and so should yours. So work with this. Get a hold of me at donprue@igomag.com if you have any questions ever. Because if you're in the martial arts group, I'm here to do whatever I can to keep you guys informed if I find out something that's important. Because I don't know everything. God, I don't know. I wish I did. But when I find out something that's working and important, I'm going to pass it on to you. So this is Don Prue, Martial Arts Group. And God, good luck, and may good fortune come to your school.